Okay, hello everybody. Happy Sunday or Monday, I guess, depending on where you are in the world. So, sorry, I'm a little late. I was actually going through, because as you guys know, I've been making color combinations, and I have like a huge stack of Prismacolor combinations, and I cannot find the booklet anywhere. So I was like, so I was rushing around trying to find it, and then I was like, I gotta go live. So guess that'll be my project today, is hunting that bad boy down. Hi, Kelly and Mona. Okay, so today we are just going to have a nice laid back, chilled stream sesh because, well, I didn't stream last week and it's been a very, very long week. So I thought it would be fun. I had planned on doing this last week, but like I said, it's been a long week. But yeah, we're going to color in Johanna Basford's latest book. I've got the full flip through on my channel if you want to check it out. And then I thought it would just be fun to color in here. It kind of reminds me of, like, I wouldn't say her old style, like Magical Jungle and all that, but it's definitely got like the Johanna, traditional thing going on. And I actually like it. So yeah, I couldn't decide on a page though. And I'm still deciding on a page. But also that was why I was trying to find my Prisma combos, because I was like, maybe there will be a color combo that I'm just feeling and I'll go with it. Hi, Kathleen. But then I just decided, you know what? I think I'm going to start with the page that speaks to me and go from there. And I am giving away a copy of the book as well. So if you hang around, you might win a copy of this book. However, it is only open to the US. Sorry, I cannot afford the exchange rate. Otherwise, I would, offer that. So hi to everyone coming in. I'm way behind today because, like I said, I was scrambling trying to find my Prisma combos. Oh, actually, I think I just remembered where they are. They're in this box right next to me. Let's check. Well, they weren't in that box right next to me. Darn it. Now I have no idea where those things went. This is like the biggest pain when you're moving, right? Like everything is not where it should be. And then when you need it, you can't have it. So the page in the book that spoke to me was this butterfly page. And that's because, well, I don't know why. It just spoke to me. But I just pictured doing like a bunch of rich purples and stuff with it, especially because pinks and purples from the Prisma line are some of my favorite. So yeah, I am going to get some colors out and we are going to make this bad boy really bright. So let me get my pencils. I need to find those combo sheets though. It's literally causing me anxiety because I haven't even finished sharing all those combo sheets with you guys. But I have like a full sheet of purples, greens. I think those ones I put on my Ko-fi. But like I've got blues, browns, pastels, and I am like, where the heck did these things go? So hopefully I can find them later today. That'll be my project. But in the meantime, I will be just going with colors or combos that I know anyway, so it's not a big deal. I still want my combos back though. All right, I need mulberry and processed red. Oops. Okay, mulberry, processed red. Pink. Yeah, I just wanted to do this in purples and pinks. I've always been a big fan of Prismas purples. They're just so lovely. Okay, Deco Pink. And I'll need my cream. What was the other one I was going to grab? All right, so I got my dark purple. All right, I was going to grab some black grape. Yeah. I'll do black grape. All right. So this one's going to actually be pretty fun because what I am going to do is it's actually a very simple color palette, but it's all about how you do it. And then, of course, I need to grab a couple colors for the background. So I've got my Deco Pink already. I'm going to need my Deco Peach. Wherever that one's hiding. I will need my, which one? Gray, green, light. I know I just saw you. My furnace went out, so my house is freezing up in my art studio. Downstairs is on its own unit, so it's nice and warm and toasty down there. But yeah, up here, I'm wearing like 2 hoodies and woo. All right, and then I just need sky blue light. They're coming back on Monday to fix it, but my house is for sale, as most of you know if you follow my channel. But yeah, like it was what, Friday night? Maybe Thursday night, my daughter comes running down and she tells me there's water pouring out of my closet. I was like, what do you mean water pouring out of your closet? So I go into her room and yep, there's water along the door frame, just raining water. And I was like, oh my gosh, we must have a burst pipe or something. And it was coming down good. So we had to run next door and get my neighbor and the ladder. And it turned out that the furnace, yes, it's not old enough to do that. I'll get to that in a minute. It turned out the furnace, like it has these drain pans underneath. Well, it was full of water and the builder did not install the drain pipe correctly. So it just overflowed with water and that's why it dumped into my daughter's room. But also, I'm trying to not talk while I sharpen. Also, we have this water detection switch. So what happens is when it detects water, it's supposed to kill power to the unit. And it didn't do that. So that was great. So that didn't work. The drains were installed incorrectly. So it went right into my daughter's room. And then to top it off, what it is the furnace, because my house is 4 years old. The furnace is 5 years old. And fun fact, it is 4 months past the manufacturer warranty. So when the HVAC guy got out here, he was like, oh, shoot. Yeah, but that's my luck. I was like, whatever. I will live with it. Where's my brush? But basically, the blower went out on it. And what happened is because my son loves to run the air conditioner, even though it's like November at night, because the blower wasn't working properly. I need to fix my camera. It wasn't getting the airflow. So basically, the coil just froze over and then just melted. And that's why we had water. I'm going to fix the thing here because it's kind of blurry. But yeah, so we have to keep it off until they can come out and replace the blower. He's actually going to try, though, to get them to honor the 5-year warranty. Oops, we don't want to zoom in too much. Simply because we have no control over when. There we go. All right, we fixed the focus. We don't have any control over when the builder bought the unit, but we didn't move in until the 4-year mark. So he's going to see if the company will still honor it, because it's like, hey guys, they've only had it 4 years. Yeah, the builder bought it at this time. So hopefully they'll replace it. But it was actually a good thing that the water sensor like broke, because had it not, we would have had no idea it was leaking water until it literally like bubbled and collapsed to the ceiling because it's in the attic. So I'm almost thankful that whoever installed that water sensor did it wrong, but still, I was like, great way to sell a home. But also my daughter was supposed to go to her dad's that night and she didn't. Had she not, I would have come I would come upstairs and find the water damage later. So it's like a bunch of things did work out in our favor, other than the fact that, yes, I've got to buy a new blower for a 4-year-old furnace. But that's just par for the course. This builder was a horrible builder. Absolutely horrible. And he went bankrupt, so it's not like I can go ask for my money back. All right. So, and obviously, since I am still living here, no, my house has not sold. The government shutdown really slowed down that. Like the second the government shut down, not a single showing. And now we're rolling into the holidays. So the chances of anyone buying this before next spring are pretty slim. So we'll see. The only crappy thing was my Etsy store sales dropped dramatically. And I was just like, oh yeah, this is just what I need. Great time of year. But let's get coloring and we can still chat. No, you don't need caps for entering, but do not type it twice. Do not do spaces. The only reason I have it in caps with Nightbot is so you can actually see what the word is. You can do it caps, you can do it lowercase. It just needs to be all together. Okay, so this is going to be a simple color palette. And by simple, I mean we're still using 9 colors, 10 colors, but we're going to be repeating them so it's nice and even, because I'm not going to make this butterfly, I'm not going to do green leaves and all that stuff. Nope, this is going to be all purplish pink and all that stuff. And then I'm going to do some translucent wings, a little translucent wing effect. So I'll have colors for that. But I'm not going to put down this yet until I put down some color here. So if you are going to color along or follow along, I am using Prisma, but you can use a handy dandy conversion chart. Karen over at My Colorful Country Life has one for every brand. So you can just go ahead and use her chart. But for Prisma, I am going to be using a combo of black grape, dark purple, mulberry, processed red, pink, deco pink, and cream. Now it is a butterfly, so what I do here, I must do here, and all that. So we'll see how this goes. But the first time I saw this when I was doing the flip through, I had thought, oh gosh, I see purple. So that's what we're doing, I guess. I see purple. So is this what I want to start with? Is my black grape? Yeah, we'll start with black grape. All right. I'm not going to zoom in a ton just because we're kind of just chatting and coloring. But yeah, when I do butterflies, or when anyone does butterflies, you kind of have to I like to color with this color here. I'll do this side of the leaves, and then I'll go into it on the other side. That way I don't forget what I did. That way it looks nice and symmetrical. Do you have to? No. If you have a better memory than me, totally go for it. I just have a horrible memory, so I'll be like, did I put that on top, the bottom? What did I do again? And I'm sorry if it's a little darker. I did turn up the brightness. My light ring is currently in the wax studio downstairs, and I'm not afraid to admit that I'm too lazy to go get it. So there's that. Yeah, because we've been using it down there because it's just getting dark, but today it's pretty rainy. So, and it's sucky because I need to turn on my furnace, but the blower is just completely out. Like I could turn on the furnace up here and it's not going to get any air. But apparently that's new or common with new construction because they install the furnaces and all that first. And then they start installing things like drywall and whatnot because obviously they need to get all the ductwork and that stuff in. And then when the painters and everyone comes through, they don't like really care about how much dust the unit is sucking in. And so it just takes its toll. But luckily it's just the blower. Like had that ice block melted into the furnace, I'd be buying a brand new furnace. So it could have been way worse. And yes, hi to everyone coming in. Sorry, gosh, I feel like streaming is honestly like a muscle you need to constantly work because I swear I'll sit there and be like, oh yeah, I can talk and color, and then I'll sit there and be like, can I though? You just gotta rework that muscle, I guess. All right, I think I'm going to grab, let's do mulberry. I just love the purples of Prisma. The purple pinks. Always been a fan. I guess I could zoom in a little bit more. Some of the details on this butterfly are going to be pretty teeny tiny. I also had an idea already for the background of this one. I was going to, because this is going to be all purples, I was almost going to do like a night sky type thing maybe, but I need to wait and see how the butterfly turns out and kind of go from there. We will see. And yeah, sorry, I uploaded a video this week, and I had meant to upload more, but just between the Etsy store finally starting to get orders, but not as much as I should this time of year. I'm hoping it picks back up. And then just getting the house back and ready now that the government's open and people are actually shopping for houses. I got so busy that I kind of forgot to upload. But I did upload that Happy Mail I got from Ohuhu, which was really sweet of them. Like when they told me they were sending me that, I was like, oh, okay, cool. I just figured it'd be like a little, like one thing. And then when I opened it, I was like, holy crap. So it was really nice of them. So I did make a video for that because I was rather touched. But I also have like a ton of review videos that I need to finish up for you guys. And I will. I've been playing with the Derwent drawing pencils, and so I'll have that review very soon. But you know me, I don't care if I'm the first to review it. I would rather just review it when I believe in it. There we go. Let me zoom in just a tiny bit. Yeah, if you are entering the giveaway, just remember you do need to be in the US or be able to get something from Amazon US. Simply because as much as I like Amazon Canada and UK, I can't afford the exchange rate. All right, so we did on the top. So we're back to our black grape. Yeah, it's going to be a... Oh my gosh, sorry, I got sidetracked. I just looked out my window and my neighbor is walking a cow down the street. That's where I live, where people walk their cows down the street like they're taking their dogs for a walk, but it's a cow. Anyway, yeah, I can't believe like Thanksgiving is coming up. Just this year is like flying. Is it doing that for anyone else? It sure is doing that for me. Oops. And then this year, because my son's birthday is every few years on Thanksgiving, but this year it's the day after. So I'll have Thanksgiving and then his birthday. But man, November is flying by. Like today I woke up and was journaling, and I sat there thinking, holy crap, where did this month go? It's already the 16th. So yeah, it's kind of crazy. And I need to like Christmas shop. I'm normally so much better about these things. I was hoping my house would have sold though, so I didn't want to like buy a bunch of Christmas gifts and then have to move them. But now I'm like, well, Laura, you never emailed me. So do you want to email me again? Because I never got an email from you. So I'm actually glad you're in the chat because I couldn't remember who won to reach out or leave a message in my community tab. But yeah, I didn't get an email. And I know Shannon had put it in there, but you have to email me so that I can get your info. Maybe, spam. I'll check. It normally doesn't go to spam though. Are you sure you sent it to the right one? It's literally my channel name at Gmail. I'll check spam after the stream. If not, do you want to just message me on Instagram? That works too. I've been really bad about Instagram this week, but that's because I've been slammed with the Instagram for my Etsy store and my books, because I have a Instagram for my author page, and because I launched that new book on November 1st, I've just been really slammed with marketing on there. So I haven't actually logged into like the Colorfully Optimistic Instagram, but maybe send me a message there and I'll just make a note to check after the stream. I keep telling myself like to post whips or something, show everyone I'm alive, but then I just forget. But like I said, I've been really busy, like my author Instagram, I've been trying to do marketing, and I'm at the point where, excuse me, I'm going to need to hire someone to help me with my media for my author page, because it is just, I mean, how are you supposed to write a book when you spend 5 hours making TikTok videos? Oh, you don't have Instagram? Okay, well, I'll check my spam. At least I'll know the name and I can remember the name this time. So we'll see. But if you don't have Instagram, no worries. If you have Facebook, you can message me at Colorfully Optimistic, because I have a Facebook page as well. By the way, I'm just using my Splendor blender to smooth these out because I don't want to smudge anything. But yeah, I'll check spam after the stream as well. It could have gone, but my spam filters are pretty light because obviously I get messages from brands and stuff. So I've kind of turned off most of the things that would trigger a spam. But you never know. You wouldn't happen to have like Hotmail or something, right? Because those ones, for some reason, Gmail is just like Hotmail is spam, and then it just runs. Doo-doo. All right. But yeah, I definitely need to get someone to help me with my social media for my book, because I'm trying to work on the 5th book, but it's like, yeah, where do I have time to do that when my brain is like completely mush after doing social media posts all day and Patreon posts and teasers and TikTok videos. I'm like, yeah, I'm feeling real creative now. All right. So like when I use the Splendor blender, I'm not using it to like blend the colors of Prisma together. I'm literally like doing it to just get rid of the tooth, because this isn't like the Prisma blender where it drags the colors. It pretty much keeps them where they're at. I don't press very hard either, just in case I need to add more color. But I do it almost to like lock the color down so that it won't smudge as easily if I accidentally go over it with my hand, because we're working in a tiny space today and there will be some overlap. And I don't want to overlap. Oh, AOL. Okay, so AOL is the same, like it's the same thing like as Hotmail. Gmail is notorious for AOL and Hotmail addresses getting sent to spam. And that is simply because, well, a lot of spam accounts use those. So you know what? You probably are in my spam folder then. So I'll go look after the stream. That's why I asked, because I've seen that happen. All right, so I want these to be a wee bit brighter, but first I'm actually going to pull out a few things here. Let's see. I'm going to leave the border and actually do like a gold gel pen, I think. So I'm going to not touch that. But I am going to start in here. So what colors do I want to use for this? I'm going to use my dark purple. Okay. But yeah, don't worry about messaging me again. You probably are in my spam since you have an AOL address. Gmail is pretty picky about those ones. For AOL, Yahoo, and Hotmail, they're like, nope, if you're not a fellow Gmail user or like a Gmail workspace user, they're just like, spam. So this is dark purple, if you're coloring along, that is. Really, you could use any colors here. I'm just coloring and chatting. Not really planning on it being a color along, but you can definitely follow me if you want. It's more just like a, hey, how's it going? How's your Sunday? I'm gonna pull that one out there. Oh, I love this color. And then let's see, was I gonna use mulberry? No, I think I'll skip straight to process red on this one. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting week. I'm hoping my Etsy store will pick up this week. I need it to pick up this week. And then, yeah, hopefully I get some showings, but part of me doesn't want any because I really don't want to move in the middle of the holidays. But at the same time, I would really like to sell my house. It's like one of those situations, right, where you're like, ugh, need to sell it, but don't want to sell it right now, but really need to sell it, but prefer not to sell it till like February, but February's too far. It's like Goldilocks. Yeah, the shutdown really affected. So I've talked to like other Etsy store owners because I was like, hey, did your sales just like tank? I had a feeling I wasn't the only one, but I still figured I would double check. And even like the ones I collaborate with on the limited edition boxes were like, oh yeah, we're dead. Like there's nothing moving. I'm like, yay, us. So I got a little excited because Friday I had like a tiny tick up in sales. And then yesterday was like the worst sales day I have ever seen. Veterans Day, I couldn't even have like good sales. This time of year is like the time of year where I'm just supposed to be like slammed. And it's like, I'm hoping in a week or two it'll balance out, and I will be. But yeah, it's pretty stressful. Like my son was applying for jobs, and then they basically stopped accepting all applications, so he didn't get to apply. He even went and interviewed for some, and then they were like, actually, we're probably not going to hire now till December. And he was like, well, then why did you have me come in? And this was like middle of October. He's like, I had things to do. Gotta love it. It's funny. Anytime my kids are like, I wish I was an adult, I'm like, you really don't. You gotta worry about paying a mortgage, selling houses. Just be happy. Happy that your biggest problem is your mom said you could not play your Nintendo Switch. I want to go back to those days where that was like my biggest issue of the day. I got denied fun. I had to clean my room, do homework. I want to go back to those days. Go back to the old me and be like, no, stop saying you want to grow up. All right, so we got those. Now I'm going to get like a more purpley thing. Did I grab my Dahlia purple? I didn't. Why did I not do that? That's weird. Okay. So I'm going to take my Dahlia purple. Just going to be shades of purple and pink. More purple than pink, but because I'm using more of the reddish purples, it'll look that way. Grab my pink. In fact, excuse me, the purples is like literally one of the first things I fell in love with Prismacolor, because all the other pencil sets I had back then, oh my gosh, this cough, excuse me, they didn't have a lot of purples. So when I got the Prismas, I was like, oh my gosh, look at all these purples. And yeah, there's sets out there now that have a ton of purples and stuff, but I still really love the Prisma purples. And I'm biased, yes, because I love Prisma in general, so there's that whole thing. I just haven't found a pencil that has impressed me to replace my Prisma. I don't know. Oh, thank you, Kelly. Yeah, that's my Etsy shop. Etsy stop is what I was about to say. I normally have Nightbot post it. I just turned it off for some reason today. All right. What do I want to do now? Let's work on these leaves up here. So I got my dark purple. So has anyone else already gotten this book, colored in this book? Were you waiting? I know there was quite a few people waiting. There was quite a few people that were just unhappy with it because they felt like it was the same old same. I don't know. I personally enjoy it. I don't feel like it's like that repetitive. It's just her traditional style. And it was kind of nice to get away from, because she had the Rooms of Wonder. Wow, can't even remember. She had all the other ones that she was releasing, which were great, but it's kind of nice to go back to the flowers for a little bit, at least to me. But I know not everybody was happy about it. Then again, it was called Wildflowers, so I was like, well, what did you expect to get? A bunch of boats? Kind of knew what you were getting. All right. Like I said, I always like to do both sides, then I won't accidentally forget what the heck I just did. So that was dark purple. I'm probably going to use my process red. Well, do I want to do Dahlia instead? No, because they're too close. All right, so I'll use my process red. And now the sun's coming up. I adjusted my blinds for the rain. So now with the sun coming back out, it's going to blind me here any second. All right. Oh, that's weird. It was 6 days and it didn't show up. I mean, they're usually Amazon's pretty good with the pre-orders. I think I've only had one, so that Jasmine Beckett Griffith book, that one got delayed by 2 days, but it wasn't by Amazon, it was UPS. They delayed it, which was weird because Amazon doesn't usually use UPS. They use themselves or the post office, but that's the only time I've ever had like a delay. But 6 days, that's kind of strange. Let's see. Yeah, there was like maybe 1 or 2 pages where I was like, this one's okay. I'm not like sitting there giddy about it, but for the most part, I liked them. There was actually one I was kind of going, like at first I was going to color, then I decided to do the butterfly, but I don't know, the butterfly was just speaking to me. I was in a purple mood. At first, I almost did the butterfly in blue and gold, but then I don't know. For some reason, I just really was itching to use my purples and pinks from Prisma. So here we are. Yeah, that's strange. I'm sorry, yours got delayed and or lost, I guess. Gosh, you know who's really ticking me off is FedEx, and the company I buy my oils from from my Etsy store. FedEx used to be great. Like it's the post office that's the one that's unreliable and loses everything, and they still do, don't worry. I have zero faith in them right now. But at least FedEx, I was like, okay, if they ship my oils with FedEx, it'll be fine. And so I had ordered a ton of extra Christmas oils October 1st. The company shipped it October 3rd. It gets lost by FedEx. They find it, but then it's damaged. And then the company that I bought my oils from, they're in the middle of changing warehouses. So their customer service, they're not even answering the phone. You have to do email. So I sent 8 emails before I finally got a response. And then they're like, well, unfortunately, we're out of this oil and this oil now. And I was like, well, that's great. And so they resend the box, credit me the other one. And then FedEx loses the shipment again. I'm like, what are we doing here? Is this just a thing we're now, promoting? Let's lose everyone's boxes. Oh, it was a nightmare. And then it finally showed up 2 days later than it was supposed to, and a bunch of the bottles were leaking all over. So my house, when I opened the box, oh my gosh, it was a nightmare. My house smelled like Christmas, just threw up in my house, but not in a good way because these oils are very concentrated. So it was like, ugh, it was a punch. And so then I get an email like a couple days later saying, we just realized we have defective lids. And I'm like, you think? So I had to file a claim with the company that I get my oils from. That was like the biggest nightmare. I just wanted my oils. Like, just a girl sitting here wanting her oils, not asking for much, just my oils. But yeah, so I had to file a claim. Luckily, the ones that leaked, they weren't like completely empty, but one of them leaked really bad. It was so bad that I had my son, I was like, take that box to the garage and like decon all of those, because we had to basically pull them out of the boxes and clean them off really, really good to get the oil residue and the smell off, and then Sharpie what they were because the label had just basically gone away from all the oil. And so thank goodness they were oils I was familiar with. Otherwise, I would have been like, what is this? But yeah, it was pretty nasty. And just the smell in my house, oh, it lingered. And they're all great smells, but when you combine them together, that's when you're like, this is not good. I'm not feeling this. All right, so we'll do probably, let's grab my Dahlia. That was my adventure of getting my Christmas oils. And they literally, that box, after they lost it and replaced it, those only came this week. And I even told them, I was like, it's like mid-November. Most people are, still ordering their Christmas oils, but like I needed these at the start of November so that I could do like the rush. Granted, I didn't know the government was going to shut down and my sales go away anyway, but still. There was a reason I ordered them at the start of October. I wanted them here and ready. Because now I'm like, gosh, I really hope I can get through all these oils. I don't want to be stuck with a bunch of Christmas oils now. So that's my one concern. I have shelves upon shelves of them, and I'm just like, ugh. So I might have to do something. Okay, so I need that. I'm going to save these though, because I need, I don't want to go with a light pink, regular pink. I could do cream, but that's a pretty large leap. I'm going to go pink. But yeah, we'll see. I don't like that pink, actually. Let's do deco pink. Oh, yeah, perfect. Just a little bit lighter. Then, of course, the great thing about Prisma is you can smoosh them on together. You're like, wait, that color leap is a pretty big leap. No, it's not. They're opaque enough that you can do it. Other brands, not so much. You would need to layer your way to a lighter color. Prisma, it's just, they're very opaque. And yeah, it's one of my favorite things about them. You don't have to layer between a really big color transition. You can if you want to. I just don't like to. All right. And this year is my first year with just me and the kids for Thanksgiving. We've been invited to like, I'm like kind of excited for it to just be me and the kids and like we create our own tradition, kind of, because we've always, for the last 16 years, always just had to follow other family traditions. So I think it'll be kind of fun to just create our own, and same thing with Christmas. Although this year, with the way my custody is working out, so my girls will actually be gone Christmas Day and Christmas Eve. So I was pretty bummed about that. I'll get them for New Year's and all that, but yeah, that part kind of sucked. But it is what it is. That's kind of part of the process. When you get divorced and have to do the whole split custody thing. But yeah, I was pretty bummed about the Christmas Eve and stuff because I was like, oh. Because back in the day when I did it with my son, they had it different how they split it, but now it's all different rules. But of course, with my son, he's turning 17 so obviously they've had to adapt back or since then. Gosh, what is with my cough today? I shouldn't have one. Maybe it's because it's cold up here. I am getting divorced. Yes, I've been getting divorced. If you guys follow my diamond painting channel, that's where all my whip-in chats are. I have them on my diamond painting channel now just because I have so much other content I need to put on this channel, like reviews and whatnot. So I moved my whip-in chats over there. So definitely follow me on my diamond painting channel for whip-in chats. And you can kind of keep up with me there. I totally forget that I do the whip-in chats over there and not here. But yes, I am getting divorced, but I've been this has been for a little while now. So just a new chapter. But yeah, I forget that I don't do the whip-in chats on my coloring channel. So if you don't follow my whip-in chats on my diamond painting channel, yeah, you probably didn't realize I was getting divorced. Whoops. Well, now you know. Your 150 Prismas were awful. Why were they awful? I'm wondering if you got because there are bad batches if you bought them on Amazon. And if they don't actually come from the company, there's a lot of companies that sell them cheaper and you actually get dupes or crappy ones that are rejects. So I'd love to know why they were awful, because hopefully it was just a bad batch from a bad seller. Because I love my Prismas, though I keep forgetting to make that video and I need to. I will make that video one day, maybe soonish is going to be my new slogan. Because when I first got Prismas, I absolutely hated Prismacolor. Like, I literally hated them. And then I finally figured out how to use them properly. And that's when I was like, oh my gosh, these are amazing. But there is, believe it or not, a little bit of a learning curve to a Prismacolor pencil. Because yeah, like I said, when I first got them, I was really excited. I had seen all these videos of people using them and I was like, these are going to be amazing. And then I went to use them and I'm like, these suck. And then I cried because it was all I wanted for my birthday. Yes, I cried. I was like 30 something years old crying over pencils. I don't care. But it turned out I just had to learn how to use them properly. So yeah, and now I can't get enough of them. And people would never guess that because I literally am like pro Prisma all the way. But when I first got them, I was like, these things suck. But they do have a learning curve. Like, they really do. And it's more than you would expect, especially like for me, I was coming off of Marco Raffines and like budget pencils. So when I switched to Prisma, I was like, what the heck? All those other colorists make these seem like they're super easy to use. And I was just like, what am I doing wrong? But yeah, they do have a learning curve there. But once you learn how to use them, they're incredibly easy. Just a different kind of pencil. And then, of course, you do have the wax bloom that's just natural for these kinds of pencils. So that's something to keep in mind. It is not true that you have to use a toothy paper with a Prisma, though. I never do. So there you go. In fact, I'm working on a portrait downstairs right now. No toothy paper at all. I like smooth cardstock. And I've got like 10 layers on her skin. It's just all about how you use them. Plus, I literally hate to layer. I only layer for like skin when I'm doing portraits and hair. Other than that, I'm like, no, we're going to just smush it all. Oh, thanks, Shannon. Yes, that's my diamond painting channel. So if you ever want to keep up with me or like my whip-in chats, because all my whip-in chats are now on my diamond painting channel. Because like I said, I just have so much other content that I have to put on this channel. Well, I don't have to, but you know what I mean. I do all my reviews and everything over here that I was like, man, if I have a whip-in chat too, it's just so much. So I moved it over there. I didn't post one this week, but it's just been a week. A very crazy week. But I try to put them up once a week now. But also, if you're into diamond painting, you'll probably want to follow me on there anyways. I do store updates as well. There's actually also a membership on my diamond painting channel. Like those of you that buy my limited edition accessory boxes on my Etsy store, that membership that automatically reserves a box for you is now live on that channel. So you can go check that out. There's a video explaining it and stuff. I kept promising it for months and I just didn't have time because that is like literally the theme of my life. What's free time again? I don't remember. But yeah, I just finally got that membership because I had a lot of people asking. They're like, can I get the membership? I'm like, I know, I'm sorry, I'm trying. It's a real pain in the butt to set those up on YouTube. Got to make videos for it. And I still haven't even made the emojis and the badges yet. I need to update the emojis and the badges for this darn channel. See, I have a really long to-do list. I need like 5 more hours in the day. That's all, just 5. I really do enjoy diamond painting. Granted, like if I'm relaxing for the evening, I'm back to coloring. For a little while there, I was just getting lost in diamond painting. Not in a bad way, just it was the way my mind was gravitating. It's good to have multiple hobbies. Like you cycle through them based on kind of your mood, right? But I'm back to coloring at night. I don't even watch TV anymore. I've given up on it. But yeah, like diamond painting, the thing I like about it is it's kind of similar to like if you enjoy color by number books, you can just literally zone out. You know, there's just no pressure. You know what to put down. And also it's very tactile, and the sound of like the popping sound of like the gems touching the glue. A lot of people find it soothing. I actually do too. Not everyone does, but I do. So it's just kind of a different experience, but it's fun. And it does take time. Like I'm working on a painting right now that is huge. And then I'm asking myself why I picked that one. I was like, this thing is so huge. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to belt this out in November. Yeah. Although I think I finally just hit the 2/3 way mark, but I'm an impatient person. So already I'm like, oh, I want to get on something else. Plus it's a square drill canvas. Those take longer for me. Just because you got to line them up. And I'm such a perfectionist that if those stupid squares don't line up perfectly, it like irritates me. So it takes me even longer, which is why I've like decided I might only start buying round drill kits, even though square ones look better. I'm just like, I can't do this. Like I'll spend hours lining up drills and then never finish a painting, you know? So it's like, I've got to save my sanity because it's supposed to be a relaxing hobby as I'm sitting there with this tool here, straightening my drills. I'm like, all right, this is getting ridiculous. Gotta pull the plug on that. Plus, like a round drill kit, I can belt out a round drill kit like super quick. I'll have to put a picture up on my Instagram of the one I'm working on right now, though. It's really, really pretty. It's just taking forever is all. All right. Let's work on this one. I'm going to do... But yeah, I do like round ones because there's times where I'm like, I just want to get a painting done and out, and I can finish those pretty quickly. So I'll do like a round kit. But I want to finish the one I'm on right now and try to get one more done before like I start working on like Christmassy ones, because I cannot do Christmas stuff until after Thanksgiving. It's a personal rule of mine. I don't even decorate before Thanksgiving. I refuse. But I have a couple winter ones I want to do. But then again, we all fall back to the age-old, I don't have enough time to do all of these things. Sorry, I was trying to read the chat and see if I could catch up. Yeah, I have a habit of taking the relaxing out of my hobbies because a lot of my hobbies have turned into jobs. I liked diamond painting, but I hated all the other waxes and putties out there, so I started making my own, and then I was like, let's make it an Etsy store. Now look at me. But you know what? Like, I kind of am a firm believer that if you have a creative brain, I no longer think of it as I've taken the fun out of it. I've just like made it part of my everyday life. Like it's my life now. That's what it is. Because every day my life is absorbed in something artistic. Like I am an author. And I love to read. I used to write just as a way to express myself, but now, you know, my writing has become kind of like a job. Well, not kind of, it is. I'm like selling my books, but I've just kind of accepted that it's not that I've like made it not fun anymore. It's just as a person who's a creative and you have that creative mindset, I just look at it as this is like your world. You just see the world differently. You know, what you do to relax is different from everyone else. Like some people want to just watch a show. Again, nothing wrong with that. I used to. But other people want to sit there and color or diamond paint in silence or whatever. And so I've no longer decided to like say, oh, I've ruined my hobby because now it's this or that. Instead, I'm like, nope, it's just part of my life. It's what I do. And that's how I look at it. Because, yeah, I mean, I get it. Like, sometimes you'll do a hobby to the point where it almost becomes tedious. And then you're like, well, this is no longer a hobby. You know, because like I said, diamond painting, I started making my own wax and putty and then started selling it. But then I was like, you know what? This is just ingrained in my everyday life. It's what it is. And that is okay. Not sure how I want to do that one yet. Oh, thank you, Sue. I really, really want to, before the end of the year, I have a goal. Ooh, let's play a game. Since this is just a color in chat, I'm not teaching you guys anything today other than how to make the exact 10 same colors look different. But I have a goal, and then you guys can share yours. So one goal that you want to like learn or start or achieve or go somewhere, it doesn't matter. It can be anything before the end of the year, right? So mine is to learn photography. Am I going to be a pro photographer by the end of the year? No, but I literally need to know what the heck all those codes are that pop up on my screen. But more importantly, I want to get into macro photography. If you don't know what that is, Google it. It's so pretty. I'm just captivated by it. And so I actually met someone who is a photographer who's actually going to help me not only learn how to use the camera that has been collecting dust in my closet now for 2 years, but also teach me macro photography. So I'm like really excited. That's kind of my goal for the end of the year, is to get into macro photography and like start, like have a foundation built. And then of course it'll carry into the new year, because like I said, I'm not going to waltz out of there and be like, I'm pro. It's going to take time, but I'll be able to start like actually taking pictures and know what the heck I'm doing with my camera and all that. So that's mine. What do you guys have for the end of the year? Like, it could be anything. Yeah, macro photography is so cool. Like I said, if you don't know what it is, please Google it, because once you do, you'll see why I'm just like, this is so cool. But like, I know everyone usually gravitates towards like bugs and flowers. Like, I want to capture like everyday things. And so I was making a joke with a friend of mine, because they were like, well, why do you want to get into macro? Because macro is not something most people, just go, I'm going to do macro photography. They start with other things. And I'm like, no, macro all the way. It was a blueberry, which he now calls my blueberry origin story. So it's kind of funny. But I had seen a macro photography of a blueberry, and the depth and dimension of a blueberry up that close, it was so insane, because it's an everyday object. I literally eat it on my oatmeal every single morning. And now I can't look at that darn blueberry the same way again. It's like forever changed. And that was just nuts. So yeah, I have a blueberry origin story, as we call it. It's kind of funny. Let me see your buggies. I know most people with macro, they do the bugs and the flowers, and it's pretty, and there's nothing wrong with it, by the way. I'm not saying that. I'm just fascinated by like food. I really want to do tons of macro photography with food, leaves. Yeah, I saw one of a strawberry too. The strawberry was like insane. It's just nuts. And then like the other day I was showing my daughter, I was like, check out this salt shaker, right? Imagine if we did macro photography on this salt shaker and captured the way the light hits just the granules of the salt. It wouldn't even look like salt anymore. Like when you see the picture, you would just be like, what the heck is that? And then you would find out it was salt and be like, holy moly. It's just nuts. Like, but I need to get a lens. Luckily, my friend has a lens, a spare lens. It's nice when you meet people who are photographers, because they just have spare lenses, because macro lenses are not cheap. But yeah, like I'm really excited to get into it and kind of like learn how to do all that, because I got this Canon T8i Rebel forever ago as a gift to myself. And I was like, I'm going to get into photography. And I think that was like 2 years ago. And I still haven't used it. So that was my thing. I was like, nope, by the end of this year, I will start doing macro photography. Will I be a pro at it? Heck no. That's like me saying I'm going to start doing watercolor and be an amazing watercolorist. Or I'm going to start doing adult coloring and do stuff like, Chris Chang or something. Come on now. I'm realistic here, but I want to start learning and see where it goes for sure. That is my end of year goal. Yeah, share yours in the chat. I may not see them all, but at least you guys can converse about it. It doesn't even have to be something artsy, by the way. Like I said, it could literally be something else. Like maybe you want to go for a drive up through the mountains and you've never done that. You want to just walk through a public park and for no other reason than you just want to people watch. Doesn't matter. Any goal. There's no wrong answer. The only wrong answer is to say, I don't have a goal. How's that? Ooh, calligraphy. I have a calligraphy kit collecting dust. That reminds me, I saw the word de-stash. Remember how I told you guys a long time ago that I was going to do a de-stash of my adult coloring supplies? Yeah, don't worry. That's still going to go down. I just haven't gotten around to it, but I am going to do it. So don't you worry. Ooh, deck project. Tell me more about the deck. Like, do you need to finish the deck? Are you redoing the deck? I'm like really into home improvement, but I can't do anything because I'm selling this house. So what's the point of improving it? Plus it's new. It doesn't need improvement, but it could use some adjustments here and there. I'm debating what I want to do next color-wise. Yeah, I am going to do my adult coloring supply de-stash. It has literally been every week when I fill out my planner, I have a list of videos I want to record, and it's always like there, and I skip over it because I need to go through everything. But when I do that de-stash, it is going to be pencils, accents, like I'm talking stickles, gel crayons, just all the junk I've been collecting because it's either something I've bought and done a review on, it's been sent to me. Like I said, I love the people at Ohuhu, but they send me so much stuff and I don't need it all. So I need to get rid of it. And then, yeah, just stuff I bought for reviews, but I don't need it anymore. So things like that, but I will definitely be doing that. So don't think I forgot. I think I want, because this is lighter, I'm going to make this a little darker, this flower back here. See, I'll do our black grape. Our dark purple, add our mulberry, and maybe just, woo, I just had a pencil run away from me. I almost feel like I need to get out my hot pink, but I do not really want to add more pinks in here. So I'm going to just try my pink very lightly. So Loomies and I'm kind of with you on Loomies. So Loomies are like the same thing as Prisma. They have a really high learning curve as well. Also, when people say Loomies are creamy, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to fight you on that one. This is a creamy pencil. Loomies are soft-ish. I've found a few hard ones. I actually prefer the Derwent Lightfast to the Loomies, if I'm being completely honest. But yeah, Loomies have a learning curve, and so I totally get it. Because when I first got my Loomies, I was like, oh, these are going to be great. You know, I mean, they're super freaking expensive pencils. They must be outrageously amazing. And there's nothing worse than spending that much on a pencil only to be like, I hate these things. Because that's how I felt when I got my Loomies at first. It took a little time. I mostly use them for portraits, but that's just me. And I rarely break them out. And it's simply because they are so expensive that every time I sharpen a Loomie, like I can literally hear the dollar signs just coming right out of my bank account. It's kind of the same with my museum aquarelles. I really only break those out if it's going to be a piece I'm giving away. It's not going to be in a coloring book because, yeah. I know, they're not creamy, but people call them creamy. And I'm like, have you used a Prisma? Because that is a creamy, buttery, soft, beautiful pencil. The Lumi is soft, but honestly, I find the Derwent Lightfast to be softer than the Lumis, if you ask me. There are a few Lumi colors, though, that I absolutely love. Really pretty colors. Let's see, what did I do here? I went up and around. I'm like trying to work in reverse. And I'm like, what did I do here again? Now I have tons of acrylic paint pens that Ohuhu has sent me to do reviews on. Like tons. Like seriously tons. So I was thinking I would do like a stream, one where I'm swatching all the different ones, because again, no joke, tons, because they have multiple kinds of acrylic paint pens from Ohuhu. So I need to do a swatch fest, and we're just gonna like sit down and swatch them all out and have some fun with the swatching. But yeah, we're going to do that. And then I am going to do some videos on coloring strictly with the acrylic paint pens, because I have had that request and I did not ignore it. Like I said, I just have a list, but I need to go through first and swatch them all and kind of go from there. But I do have a ton of those that I need to get through ASAP. Let's see. Oh, you're finally using your Neos. Sweet. I love my Neos. I haven't used them in a while. They've actually been kind of neglected. I hope they don't feel like I forgot them. But to be honest, I have been really lazy with backgrounds. Like, so if I'm coloring a page, I'm so lazy that I just color it in pencil, which is ridiculous because I could do a background with a Neo color 10 times faster, but I'm too lazy to walk upstairs at the moment. So I sit there and spend 2 extra hours making a background with a pencil. That's me. You know you're burned out when you're like, I can't be bothered to go get the easier medium. I'm just going to color a background and sit here and layer it for days. That's a pretty good sign that you need a break. And it's not even like physically lazy. I've been on my rowing machine every day. Starting November 1st, I had made like this deal with myself. I was going to get on my rowing machine every single day, no matter what. Like, so even if I was busy and I could only do 10 minutes, that didn't matter. If I made it 40 minutes another day, that didn't matter. But every day on my rowing machine. And okay, first of all, let me tell you, 40 minutes on a rowing machine when you're just getting back into shape, I don't recommend that. Rowing machines were made by someone evil. Like, they wanted you to feel pain. Because not only does it require proper technique, there's like actual technique to using a rowing machine. Sure, you can just row away, but if you want to get the full body workout, you need to use it right. But oh my gosh, like when you get off a rowing machine, there are like muscles that are sore and wobbly that you didn't even know you had until you try to get off a rowing machine after 45 minutes. Like, I knew I was already like, you know, tired and definitely pushed myself. But man, when I stood up, I was like, oh my gosh, I think my legs are dead. I don't even think I have legs anymore. So there you go. Can't walk. But yeah, that's been a thing I've been doing since November 1st. And it's crazy. I'm already seeing like tons of results, but it's because it literally is cardio and strength training in one, and it also like tackles a ton of muscles, like I said, that you didn't even know you had until you're like, why is this weird twinge in my leg happening? I didn't start at 45 minutes. Let me clarify that. When you first get on a rowing machine and say like you're out of shape or you've never even used a rowing machine, if you make it 10 minutes, kudos to you. Like 10, let me rephrase that. 10 like active minutes, like you're really pushing yourself on the machine and you have a good resistance on it. I'm not talking like just, you're on level 0 with no resistance and just like la-di-da, because I could do that for an hour. But like, no, you're like you're actually going for it, and you make it 10 minutes, then you get an applause, because it takes time to build up. Like it really does. Because like I said, those machines were made by someone evil. I don't know. They really wanted you to hurt when you got off that thing. And it works. But it works though. So, and I bought my rowing machine forever ago. I bought it when my contractor was doing my basement. And he was asking why we were building a home gym. And, I was like, well, to get in shape, which was hilarious because I never even used the stupid thing. But he's like, oh, you definitely got to add a rowing machine. I swear by him. He's like, I get on my rowing machine every morning. He's like, I just do 20, 30 minutes a day and it keeps me, in shape. And I'm like, all right, I'll get a rowing machine. And I remember when I first got it, I got on it and, I did like 10 minutes and I was like huffing and puffing and freaking thought I was dying. But yeah, now I'm getting better. Play some good music. I have found there's these playlists on Amazon for rowing machines. Look them up. They're pretty cool. And you're supposed to change your speed and your resistance to the song. So it's pretty fun to do those ones. And then it's not like you're watching a workout video. You're still listening to music, but you're just changing your speed and resistance to go along with the music. So anyone who has a crown, it just means they're like a top fan. You get like a little top fan badge. It's something new YouTube rolled out to make it more competitive. I don't know. It's silly, but it's that person comments more. They've been active. It's like their little badge, and yeah, it just shows that they interact with that channel and the live stream. So they earn their top fan badge. But they rolled that out a little while ago. It's been a while now. There's actually people that'll sit there in a live stream and compete to keep their crown. So, and yes, Mona is a queen. So YouTube recognized her status. I really want to try paddleboarding. And you know what I really, really want to try? And maybe I'll add that to my end of 2025 list, is pickleball. I used to play tennis all the time. But then I moved to Utah and everyone's all about pickleball. And they don't even have tennis courts out here anymore. They just have pickleball courts. But there is literally an indoor pickleball court down the street from me, 5 houses down. It's right next to the high school that's ugly and across the street from me. And it's been there forever. They just remodeled it and stuff too. But I keep telling myself, I'm going to go in there and I'm trying to talk some of the moms in the neighborhood because obviously I need people to play pickleball with. And I don't want to go up to these strangers and be like, I'm a complete noob. Do you want to waste your workout hour teaching me how to play pickleball? So I'm trying to get the moms in the neighborhood and us go over there and play pickleball. Because one, I want to see what the hype is. Why is this better than tennis? Because I used to play tennis a lot when I lived in California. When I moved to Utah, I stopped, but I was really big into tennis. So I'm just I want to kind of see what the hype is. Why is everyone like this as opposed to tennis? And, try it out. So maybe I need to add that also to my list. Get into my macro photography and then freaking figure out why pickleball is so popular. Uncover the mystery for myself. And at least then I can say I have tried pickleball. So if I don't like it, then I can say, nope, I'm a diehard tennis fan and I've at least given it a shot. Like, I know it's a smaller paddle, a smaller, why can't I think of the word? Court. There we go. And like the rules are a little different, but yeah, just trying to figure out the allure. I think I will add that one to my list because there's like literally no reason not to. It's down the street. And it's winter, so they're busy this time of year now. Well, it's not technically winter, but it's cold. So like all the outdoor courts aren't getting used. But like the high school across the street, when they built that, they built like 10 pickleball courts, no tennis courts, pickleball courts for the high schoolers. But they left them open to the public too. So like the indoor court down the street, they closed down so that they could remodel while everyone was using the free courts. But I want to kind of go in there and like figure out what this pickleball is about. I just need to find a pickleball Sherpa to teach me the ways of pickleball. And then I'll go early in the morning while everyone's at work with all the moms that I know either are stay-at-home moms or work from home moms in this neighborhood, and we can all embarrass ourselves while we learn pickleball. Because I know all of them don't play it either, so I'm not the only one. My favorite water-based markers are, in fact, not Tombow, and the reason being is while I do love Tombow, they are way too expensive, in my opinion, for what you get. Their curated sets are kind of ridiculous, so I actually like the Lyras. The Lyra ones are really good. Actually, King Art makes a really good one with a really nice brush nib that is bendy. It's almost like a paintbrush. So from King Art. And then I like the Ohuhu ones, but I would actually put Tombow ahead of the Ohuhu ones simply because of quality issues. But my top is Lyra. I really like the Lyra ones. And then the King Art ones I really like simply because they have that brush. Like, it's literally like a paintbrush. I think I have them. Hang on, let me grab one. Oh my goodness, that took longer than it needed. Which reminds me, when I do my adult coloring supply de-stash, all markers and stuff will be there too. Okay, so here is the Tombow. Now these are great. It's just they're expensive, and I just don't feel they're worth the money. But they do have a nice brush nib. They also have the fine tip nib on the other end. Now, Lyra is the same thing. So it's the Aqua Brush Duo, except they're cheaper. So you got your brush nib, and then you got your fine liner nib here. But I also forgot about the other one I like, and thank goodness I actually walked over there and looked, because I don't have my other King Art one. That sucks. Okay, there's another one from King Art, but this is their brush nib one from King Art. These are really affordable, but I totally forgot about my zigs. Ooh, it's hard to say. So zig, the reason I like the zig is this is a brush nib, but it's like a paintbrush. Look at that. You're like painting with it. It's glorious. That said, I would still do the Lyra. I really like the Lyra, so it would kind of go Lyra, King Art, Zig. Well, Zig and Tombow are kind of the same because depending on how you're going to use them, you know, this brush, the real brush nib may not be your thing. And then, yeah, the Ohuhu would be in the back, but that's simply because there's some quality issues. But totally forgot I had those zigs there too. But when I do my adult coloring destash, I will be destashing a lot of water-based markers because I just don't use them. So there's just no point. That's the whole point of my destash, is I just have way too many adult coloring supplies that don't get used. And I've got tons of Tombos, tons. I stocked up when they had those curated sets on sale a couple years ago. And then I never really used them because I was just like, eh. But if I'm going to use a water-based marker, I tend to use it as a base. A water-based marker as a base. Yep, I said that. But I'll put it down as a base and then go over it with pencil. That said, I would rather just do the base with an alcohol marker if I'm going to do that in the first place, because the alcohol marker dries quicker, doesn't pill your paper, but it does bleed. So you, like in this book here, I would need a water-based, because if I used an alcohol marker, it would most definitely bleed through and ruin the page on the other side. But I just don't use my water-based ones very much. I really like alcohol markers in general. They're more for me. So yeah, those will definitely be in my destash. I don't know how I got so many zigs. I think they were sent to me. Or did I buy them? It's really hard to say. Yes, Zig is a watercolor. All these are water. Like you can literally put these, by the way, on a palette and use them like watercolor. So add some water to them. You don't even have to add water if you don't want to, but it helps. But they're water-based as opposed to alcohol markers. And so you don't get the bleeding, but you will get pilling. Like paper like this in an adult coloring book is not meant to take a ton of water. So like if I ever do a watercolor background, or, you know, if you guys do like neocolor backgrounds or anything like that, you'll notice your paper gets really crinkly, starts to get delicate. Well, if you keep going, you'll get pilling, and that's where the paper literally starts to break down. Like you'll actually like see parts of the paper coming up, and like the color is no longer absorbing because the paper itself, its like core is breaking down. And so that's why I'm not a big fan of the water-based markers, because at least with alcohol markers, you can sit there and layer on your paper and you won't have the pilling, but they do bleed through. That said, there is another thing to keep in mind. Alcohol markers, when it comes to using them, the type of paper you use an alcohol marker on really matters. Like if your paper is not smooth enough, you won't actually get a smooth blend. Like if you went to go take an alcohol marker and say use it on a toothy paper, you won't get a smooth blend, so it'll look all choppy and weird. You need a smooth paper that doesn't let your alcohol evaporate and dry right away, so that you can sit there and blend it out and layer, and then it not look like you just added layers. So there's that too. There's pros and cons. Both require learning curves, as do pretty much all art supplies. So water. So weird. On camera it looks so splotchy, but it's not in person. It's so smooth. I'm gonna try, and you know what I keep forgetting to play around with is these. I've used them with my Prisma and absolutely hate them with my Prisma, but I need to play around with those more. But speaking of Prisma, I'm taking my Prisma blender because I don't like the way this is blending out. I do use a thick cardstock behind my pages, if that's what you were asking. But I do that with any book. I always use a thick cardstock. It's a little better, but it still has some splotchies. It's splotchy on the camera, not in person. That's what's weird. Gotta love like the way the light works. I'm just trying to get to blend out just a little better. Okay. Let's see. What do I want to do for color now? I'm feeling like, and some things I'm actually going to leave because I'm going to go back with either gold or silver. I'm leaning towards gold, but like, so I think I'm going to use gold here, like a gold gel pen, glitter gel pen in here. And I might actually use the gold in here. So like some things I'm not coloring in on purpose because I'm going to go back, and then like I'm thinking like some gold in here, like in the centers, you know, make my butterfly sparkle. But also because with the background I was kind of picturing I was going to use my gold. I have a very thick, flaky gold Mod Podge that makes a really fun background. I don't have the book up here that I used it last. So that's kind of why I'm like, I don't want to touch that right now. All right, what color do we want to use now? Let's get these other pencils out of the way. Oh, wrong one. All right, we need more of a purpley pink over here. So we are going to do Dahlia, Process Red, and yeah, that should do. Maybe even some cream. Work on those. I'm just trying to keep it really easy today because I don't feel like doing anything complicated coloring wise. It's Sunday. The last time I streamed, I sat and made pumpkin combos, and that kind of drains my brain a little. My brain's already drained because I spent this morning creating a ton of TikTok videos for my book. Ugh, that is not easy to do. If TikTok was not so popular for authors, I would not be torturing myself with it. But unfortunately, it is a must. And it is a painful one at that. Okay. Yeah, I don't know how Black Friday is going to pan out for art supplies. My favorite ones to check out are like Jackson's. They do some really good ones on Black Friday. Blick, sometimes, although the last few years, Blick has been pretty lame. Their Cyber Monday was better. But Jackson's does some pretty good ones, so check out them. So I do have the Debbie Macomber, yeah, her books or her older ones, and I got rid of them. I didn't get the new one because her style just wasn't for me. So I destashed them a long time ago, and then I didn't bother with the Christmas one because I just knew it wasn't going to be my thing. She does gorgeous work, don't get me wrong. Not bashing it by any means. I just know I will never color it if I buy it. And I've started to get a lot more selective with what I buy book-wise because, I mean, I don't want to sit here. I'm going to have to put pink in there. I don't want to sit here and have to do destash videos all the time. It gets a little tedious. Like I need to do a diamond painting destash already, and I'm just like, ugh. So yeah, but no, I've seen it. It's really pretty. It's just not going to be for me. It's not going to be one in my collection. I honestly don't know what I'm going to color for the holidays, Christmas time. I absolutely love coloring Christmas trees, but that's because, does anyone want to guess why? Because I get to flick the colors in. It's like coloring hair only on a Christmas tree. So I get like super excited about it. Because that is my technique of coloring Christmas trees. I flick the colors in just like I do hair. But about like, after I do like the 10th tree, I'm kind of over it. So, but just a fun fact. I literally sit there and get all happy. I'm like, I get to flick colors into my trees. I'm well aware that's silly. Wait, what is 77 now? $77? Is there a certain direction when you use a blending pencil? It depends on the blending pencil, actually. So, if you are using a Lyra Splendor blender, okay, reverse. That answer is a little more complicated. It depends on the blending pencil, but also the pencil you are blending. So, I actually have a whole video on the blending pencils for Prisma. I really need to do an in-depth video on blender pencils in general, but when it comes to Prisma specifically, if you are using a Splendor blender, you don't have to worry about it dragging the color. That said, you should still move from light into your dark just because you're still going to pick up color on the end, the tip here. But also because of this is waxy, you kind of just want to do small circles and blend it out. Now, say you're using a Prismacolor blender on Prismacolor pencils. This is actually going to drag the color. It will drag it. Literally, I could drag it across the page if I wanted to. Like, look how much color is on the end of this right now. So you always go light to dark and you blend it out almost as if you were coloring with your lightest pencil because every little movement is dragging the color around. Now, use these bad boys on Prisma. I don't recommend it, actually. Just don't. It's horrible on Prisma. Let's see. Where's my other one? Come on. The Color, don't bother. The world's worst blending object ever sold. Where are my other ones? Oh my gosh. Well, my Cran Dash colorless blender, kind of I use similar to the Splendor blender, but I'm a little bit lighter with that one because the Cran Dash colorless blender, which you get in a 2-pack, one is encased in wood, one is fully just exposed. They're the same thing. It's very waxy. It leaves like a waxy sheen. And so I'm light with it simply because in case I want to go back over what I just blended out, I do not want to like have this huge wax layer because you cannot go on top of it afterwards. It's a pain. But yeah, I have a video about, like, I was testing different blender pencils with Prisma specifically on my channel. And I kept meaning to do one for other brands. I just never got around to it. But yeah, it's not an easy answer. But it depends on the blender you're using and the pencil you're blending. So trial and error. Just put it on some scratch paper, grab a blender pencil, and then see what works. If you're not sure. If you're okay dragging the color, use the Prismacolor blender. I only use the Prismacolor blender when I'm lazy and I literally want to use a single color and create a natural highlight. Then I'll use a Prisma blender and one color and just use that as my way of coloring. In fact, that's how I learned how to use Prismacolor pencils. But my favorite blender with almost all pencils is the Splendor blender. And then I like the Korilynn blender on my polys a lot. I actually like it on the Loomies. What else do I use the colorless one on? Yeah, it's primarily those two. Derwent Light Fast, actually, I'll use my Korilynn one on that. But I use the Lyra Splendor blender a lot. Like, I like it on my polys and everything too. It's one of my favorite blenders because it's kind of like an in-betweener. It's not as waxy and it doesn't leave like a milky finish like the Korilynn. So I really enjoy it. And then it doesn't drag your color either, like the Prisma color. So it's a nice like in-between stage one. At least for me. I just realized I brought all my Prismas back upstairs, and that means I'm going to have to leave them up here till I finish this page. Aw. All right. Let's see. We're at an hour 40. So what I will do is, while I'm coloring these flowers real quick, hurry and enter the giveaway. If you've already entered, don't enter again. It will disqualify you for spamming. You just need to type flower power, one word, doesn't have to be in caps, and that will enter you, and then we will draw a winner. So while people are doing their last minute entries, let me give you the usual disclaimers that YouTube insists I give. Not that they actually police it, but the one time you don't see it, they will. So here we go. This giveaway is fully sponsored by myself. It is not sponsored, endorsed, and all that by YouTube and or Johanna Basford. I am giving away a single copy of this book here that we're working on today. You must be over the age of 18 and you must be able to receive a shipment from Amazon US. And then how it works with my giveaways, this is just exclusive to me. I will have Nightbot pull at random a name if you've entered with a keyword. And you have about a minute to respond because we really don't want to sit around and wait forever, but you must respond in the chat. So if your name is pulled, you need to reply in the chat that, I'll say congrats and Nightbot will announce it and everyone will say congrats to you too, but you need to reply in the chat. So that means you need to be in the chat. If you don't reply within that minute or so, sometimes I'm nice and I give you more than a minute, I'm going to have Nightbot pick a new winner. Now, once Nightbot already rolls and picks a new winner, if you pop back on after, sorry, you've already been replaced. So it's very important that you speak up in the chat. And then also, once the winner is selected, one of my awesome mods will throw out my email address and you must email me today. The reason for that is there are people that rewatch streams afterwards and will actually email pretending to be you. Yes, people are, in fact, that shady. It happens all the time. So you must email me right after the stream. That doesn't necessarily mean I will reply to you right after the stream. In fact, I will be doing mounds of laundry. So, but I will have your information and then I will ship the book to you. So if you don't email me though, after the stream, there's no guarantee it will be you because for all I know, your imposter just got the book. So that's why I say right after the stream, before people can watch this on replay and create a fake account and literally pretend to be you. Got it? So biggest and most important thing is you must speak up in the chat and say that you're still here if your name is drawn. Because if you're not, we're going to re-roll. And then once Nightbot has already re-rolled, you're disqualified. So just keep that in mind. Now that I've given that lovely 5-minute disclaimer, I am going to roll for a winner. So if you enter, or if you enter after, it's not going to get you. But all right, let's have Nightbot pick a winner. So Kim Henderson. come on down, or at least say you're alive. So, that's the big thing. Are you still here? So we'll give Kim a second to reply because obviously sometimes we're all watching live streams and doing other things. Heck, I'm notorious for watching live streams while like folding laundry. So I like to give just a little bit of time for them to say, I'm here. Oh, see, she's there. Look at her. Well, then congrats. You get a book. And I don't have to re-roll and do the awkward, sorry, I replaced you speech because I hate doing that. So one of my super lovely mods whom I love so much will type in my email address and just email me right away. And then I can get your address and we will go from there. And I'll zoom out too so you guys can see what we did today. Because I just realized I'm zoomed in. Oh, come on. Okay. Isn't it amazing how much you can color in like 2 hours? I'm being totally sarcastic on that, by the way. But this is what we got so far for our purple pink butterfly. But yeah, I'm kind of like picturing this like dark purple and blue background with the chunky glitter. I don't know. That's just what I'm picturing in my head. It may change once I fill this all out. That's why I didn't color in the wings yet. But yes, that is where we got so far today. Coloring is a slow process, especially with pencils. I laughed because the other day I keep posting this progress on my Facebook with a portrait. And they're like, and it was hair, tons of hair. But you guys know I love hair, so I'm not complaining. But this portrait in particular, a lot of hair. And they're like, haven't you been working on that for a week? And I was like, have you ever colored hair? Like, I sit there and I like work for 30 minutes and then I got to get back to life. Like, yeah, it took me 8 days, but gosh darn it, I was happy. But I only had like a half hour here, half hour there. But I kind of laughed because I was like, coloring with pencils is a very slow process. It's not like you finish a page in 2 hours. Well, I don't at least. And I'm not even a big layering type. I smush and blend. So yeah, I'm just slower, I guess. I don't know. But well, thanks for hanging out with me, guys. Next week, I am going to be, like I said, working on those acrylic paint pens because I have 3 different types from Ohuhu that I need to show you guys. So we'll kind of swatch them, play around with them. And then I will be doing a video on how to just color with only acrylic paint pens. Yes, you can do that. And you can do it in books like this, by the way. You can. They don't bleed through. So it'll be fun. Yes, I am going to check my spam. Thank you for the reminder, actually. In fact, Shannon, can you message me a reminder? Because I'm so going to forget. So bad. I got a lot going through my brain. Like, if you guys lived in my brain for 5 minutes, you'd be like, oh man, I need coffee. So yeah, I will definitely check spam. But thanks for hanging out, guys. We'll do some fun stuff this week. And then I do want to get on that D-stash here very soon. I'm going to try and do it before even Christmas. So you guys can snatch up some supplies for your own Christmas stuff, maybe. So probably end of the month is my goal. We'll see. But yeah, have a good Sunday, good rest of the week. And until next time, take care. Bye, everyone.